Juventus could launch a surprise bid for Tyrell Malacia this January after a big situation happened with their captain Danilo. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Here is a quick transfer update concerning Manchester United. Now, it's a transfer window that is on, and Man United is not really looking at its incomings. Mostly we are still focused on who is going out. Good enough, it's early days because, guys, the situation we are in, we've got to first sell before we can buy. That's why I'm not going to give you so many videos talking players we could bring in because there is no money. I'm first going to focus on letting you know of who could come out. Now, the latest that has come through from a source close to Fabrizio, that's caught offside. They are saying that Juventus could make Tyrell Malacia a priority for them in January after they fell out with their captain Danilo. You do understand that Danilo, 33, has been integral in everything good at Juventus. No wonder he's their captain. But they were angered by his recent behavior, where he reportedly spoke to Napoli behind their back. Now, as captain, that's wrong. I mean, it's sort of a breach of trust if you look at it critically. That if we have trusted you as captain of this club, there is no way you can talk to another club behind our backs. So, whereas his contract would run out in the summer, they are saying they have put him up for sale this January, and let the clubs like Napoli and the Saudi clubs he's been speaking to come and pay for him so that he doesn't live on a free. So that has created a situation that could see Tyrell Malacia come in now as the savior because he seems to have the profile that suits a player fitting of the Juventus playing style going forward. So it is a very possible move that could happen that will see Man United get rid of a player who has been injured for so long, returned and played a few games, then drops out of the team for reasons quite unclear, probably because his levels are not up there. But Malacia is certainly among the players who could be sold. So I think it's a good thing because, again, considering that one of the key departments that Amorim is looking to bolster, especially this January, is the left wing back or the left back position, then certainly Tyrell Malacia will nearly, it will be imperative on him to make way. So I think Juventus would be a good option for him. But also, speaking of this January, players who could leave, Real Sociedad are still serious about Antony. In fact, now they do claim they are willing to take him on loan and pay a small portion of his 12 million euros a year wages. Now, whether that's a good thing for you or not, I think the fact that Antony would be leaving and there would be a little bit of money Man United would save in terms of wages on him, I think it's an okay deal, but it looks almost imminent or almost apparent that Anthony Dos Santos will end up going on loan, and Rio Betis rather are so serious in being the ones who take him. So let's follow that story and see what will happen. So those are two players that could be, I think, having destinations, I think, in line. Unless the negotiations don't go well, it seems seriously that these deals could be serious talks going on. Now, for Casemiro, the situation is still evolving. We know that the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia is so interested in him. Now, what has come out today is that Man United are willing to take a £30 million loss on Casemiro. I wonder whether it would be a loss because for me, even 30 million quid is good money to get out of Casemiro, honestly, for a player whose current contract is running out in June 2026. And he was bought for 60 million, which was already too much money. Gave us one good season. He has been terrible, for lack of a better word, so inconsistent. Certainly for me, 30 million would be a proper bargain for Man United, and that's money you get and run away with. So we're still waiting to see, but United have openly made it clear. I think this is them putting, making an open call for bids. I think they have just made an open call for bids for clubs to come and bid for Casemiro. 30 million is what United feel they can get for the player, who I strongly believe can still play football in Saudi, but not in Europe. Then other departures, United, I believe, now again to be looking for solutions for Victor Lindelof, who is still injured, and Christian Eriksen. For Eriksen, this is a player we got for free. You wonder how big the solutions are. But most importantly, the player we would be looking to sell and hope to get some good money in January is Marcus Rashford, who came out earlier and he was denying all the reports going on around his departure and stuff, talking about how he's not going nowhere and stuff. Of course, he's trying to, I think, manage things because perhaps he got back in his mind and tried to reason with the club. Maybe they spoke to him in terms of reflecting on his interview and what he did and what it meant, the implications, and now maybe he's trying to control the damage. But the thing is, for Marcus Rashford, I think there is no turning back really. I think it's done. It's a done case. He can try to say everything, but I think it's clear he will be leaving. If not permanently, he will be going out on loan, with Man United paying a portion of his wages and the club he goes to paying the rest. But for Rashford, I think there is no turning back. But I've been trying to scrutinize the whole Man United squad currently and the players who could potentially leave in Jan, and with all these links that we are beginning to see emerging, and I'm thinking we could actually raise just about 100 million. We could raise 100 million in January, because think about Danilo and the situation with Malacia, rather with Juventus and Malacia. If Danilo leaves, and indeed he is, and Juventus feel they want Malacia is a player I think we can sell for about, I think we can sell Malacia for about 10 million, 10, 15 million. Let's say 15 million. I think we can sell him for about 15 million. Then I believe Casemiro can get us 30, so that's 45 from Saudi, that is. I strongly believe Marcus Rashford, or let's go Antony, because Rashford is the more difficult to sell, I think. I think it's the more difficult one to sell. January might be difficult, but I still maybe he can go out or not. But I think a player like Eriksen, that's negligible. For Eriksen, the amount cannot more than 5 million, really. Let's say 5 million, okay, that's 50 million. Now, add on Antony, who could go out on loan. I'm hoping they can negotiate a loan where the club pays a bit, even if they paid 15 million to take him on loan, with an option of buying, because that's what Real Betis are contemplating, loan with an option of buying. So if they give us a down payment of 15 million quid, or 10 million, even if it's 10, that would be about 60. Then for Rashford, we hope and pray that there's a club that is willing to give us 40. That's 100. Now with 100 million, given the new direction that Ineos wants to take, I think that's money we can play with and bring in maybe 1-2 senior players and use the rest to maybe add a few youngsters, promising cheap youngsters, 15 and 12 or there about 20 million pounds players. We add those to the team, because not even 10 million pounds players. If you bring in 2 kids of 10 million or even less, promising young talent, which is there is plenty of it, then you get the other 80 and buy 2 marquee players, a CDM, partner of Ugarte, and a left back. I think that would be good business to be done in Jan. Then the youngins come in, I think, in the creating areas. You bring in a creative young player who can play where Bruno plays, looked at as one for the future. And maybe, who else? Maybe you could add in a striker. But there's also talk of Zirkzee, by the way, because it seems apparent now that Zirkzee as well is wanted out. In fact, there was an area report today that suggested that Man United had resolved to sell Garnacho and Zirkzee. That's a report that came out earlier today. We spoke about Garnacho already. I think if the interest is there and someone brings the money, good money, 60, 50 million quid, I think Man United can cash in, because that's pure profit, nearly, because he's considered as an academy boy. Then for Zirkzee, I think clearly, good as he might be, and not that we're writing him off, but I think his style of play has no place in the Ruben Amorim system. There is no place for him. Because of his style, the style of player he is, and the fans will never understand the style of player he is. They just want to see him scoring goals on the pitch. So we could actually get solutions if we've got the right people doing the right jobs in terms of hunting for solutions and teams vending these players, if I would call it that. We could get decent amounts of money that could be that will be able to help Ruben Amorim get the players he needs to fill the key positions he wants to play in his way. My name is Webb. This is the United Sport. That's the out situation at Manchester United.